Hey everyone, welcome to the Carysgarage. And on this episode, I bought another car. Buying another car. We're actually headed up to go pick it up right now. I really did not need to get anything else, but this is such a unique and very rare unicorn that, given the opportunity, I had to do it. And before we get there, don't forget, like, subscribe, hit all the buttons. There is a Patreon that I have for the channel. Information is down below. Any help is greatly appreciated, as all these projects are a bit financially taxing, but they are fun. So, we're doing a quick drive, actually not too far from where I live. We're meeting up with my friend's partner, who they helped me get the vehicle out here. They threw it on a tow dolly, and he should be here soon. We're meeting up with him. So when we get there, we'll check it out. There it is. And this is it. It is a 1985 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. This was the first year, 85, for the front-wheel drive kind of mid-sized DeVille platforms called the C-bodies. But what makes this car really, really rare is what's under the hood. Let's take a look. And here it is. What makes this really rare? See right there. This is the 4.3-liter V6 diesel. And we'll pause for a second and I'll do a video I did a couple of weeks ago right after I got it of the first cold start. Well, here is the first official cold start. The good old Cadillac ding chimer. So the original way to start is the glow plug controller isn't hooked up, so it just has a momentary switch under here. So starts right up. And I'll be pretty honest, this car is pretty much exactly the kind of car I like. It's got some patina, the paint isn't perfect. You know, I really don't like super shiny show cars. They don't do much for me. I can't enjoy them, but something like this I can enjoy. So let's take a quick walk around the car. See, the paint is kind of fading in a few spots, and there's a little bit of, you know, where the paint is pretty much gone. It's got some surface rust, which I will at some point start to address. But and also another thing you'll see is all the emblems are missing. I have all the emblems. I'm going to clean it up and reapply them at some point. It's got all the original wire wheel covers. It does have a different color filler piece for the taillight lens right there. Whatever, not that big of a deal. I am missing one of the center cap logos for that wheel cover. I have a bunch of those. I just haven't put it on yet. You can see on the fender right here, you've got the telltales. It's got like little fiber optics that run down to the turn signal headlights, bulbs, and whatnot to show you when they're on, blinking, all that good jazz. The A-pillar covers need to be redone. I am going to bring those down to the upholstery shop and have those redone here soon. Got the great cloth interior. There's a few things I do need to do with the window regulators, need some work. Overall, it runs and drives absolutely amazing. But since you've seen the cold start, let's actually start it up. If I can find the key in my pocket somewhere. And then we'll take a look at a bit more detail on the interior. The air conditioning works great. It still has the rear leveling suspension, which works. I need to figure out what to do about that duct work right there to get rid of that duct tape, but, you know, whatever. We'll go ahead and sit inside in the wonderful air-conditioned cabin and take a little look around. So we got the Cadillac steering wheel, which does have telescoping, so we'll go in and out. It also does have tilt. And here we've got the diesel data center, which gives us how many gallons of diesel are in the tank, and also it'll have weight to start and water and fuel in here as well. The gasoline powered cars, this would have been a multi-purpose unit that would have had fuel mileage range and all that good stuff. Light switch with the Cadillac crest, Twilight Sentinel. Got the information center, which is just the dummy light stuff. The 80 mile per hour speedometer, and this car's got 225,732 miles. The also interesting thing is this was the first year for the 4-speed overdrive with a lockup torque converter. So this thing does cruise really nice. Got the full automatic climate control, another information center. The Engage on-off or cruise control power mirrors, which work. The original Delco stereo with the wreaths on here, that does work. And also recently I got a Bluetooth cassette adapter and it works perfect. Here's a really, really neat thing. DeVille diesel. This car was also, from what I can tell, part of the gold key delivery service system thing. So this car originally had the gold keys, which I would like to find at some point. The dash is in really nice condition. I'm going to get a dash cover made for it to protect it. And then we've got all of our switches here, power door locks. Overall, it's a very, very nice place to be. Here in the back seat, the upholstery is in really good condition. The headliner is really nice. And that right there is the telltale for the tail lights. The sun is actually reflecting on it now, so they'll be a little bit lit up, but it will show you when your brake lights are on, running lights, turn signals, all that stuff to make sure the bulbs are good. I need to get the covers for the interior lamps right there. Missing one for right here. It needs a couple of things. You know, it's like I said, this car is pretty much perfect in the realm of my kind of cars because I don't like super shiny, perfect, low mileage, fancy trailer queens. That doesn't work for me. I don't like those kind of cars. They make me uncomfortable. I like stuff that has miles, I can drive and enjoy. Now, this particular car, as far as I understand, the diesel was discontinued for 1980s. So I think mid-year 1985, if I remember right. But I know 85 was the last year you could get any GM diesel. So in the 350 diesel and the 4.3 liter, which had only been manufactured since I think 82. And if you remember, I'll put the link down below. I also have the 83 Chevy Celebrity with the 4.3 liter diesel. That one needs a little bit of love, head gaskets or heads, we'll see. But this one runs and drives and it is super comfortable. So I say, let's go take it for a little drive. And shout out to my friend Andrew, who sold me this car at the beginning of this year. He sent me a message because we talked back and forth about the 4.3 diesel stuff, you know, with my Celebrity, because he's had a few, including this car. And he said that he wanted to sell it and move on a bit, and that I would probably be the perfect person to own this car, and I agreed. So we made a deal, and it took several months. Unfortunately, I was gonna go out there and get it, but things happened and life stuff. And also, I sold my 2019 Volkswagen GTI to buy this car. That I loved the GTI so very much, but it just didn't fit with what my life was at that point, and this car definitely did. So the video clip at the very beginning of this particular video of it coming in is his partner actually brought it to town for me. He happened to be traveling from the outside of Dallas to Flagstaff and said, you know, throw it on a dolly and bring it out to you, make it kind of easy. So I reimbursed him for that, and now I've got my car, which I have named Edna, is the personality she gives me. And honestly, I absolutely just love this car. It is incredible. So we're driving down my road. Let me change camera angles and we'll take it for a little drive. I figured getting out to the main road would be best since my road is bumpy and annoying. But one of the things I was going to say I love about GM diesels of this time frame, either the trucks or any of the cars, is you end up with a lot more sound deadening in the vehicle. They wanted to try and keep that diesel clatter to a minimum. So in here, while you're driving, you really can't tell it's a diesel whatsoever. It is very quiet, very comfortable, I have to say. I, for the longest time, have not given these kind of mid-size front-wheel drive Cadillac platforms enough credit Never really driven any, but I was like, it's a smaller car, front wheel drive. It can't really be that good. But honestly, it really is. I do adore driving this car. And for only having 85 horsepower and I think 165-ish feet-pound of torque, it actually gets up and goes pretty good. I mean, it's not fast by any sense of the imagination, but for the kind of driving I do, it is absolutely superb, and it works perfectly. And it's comfortable, and I love driving it. The only time you can really tell it's a diesel is when you're sitting at a light or when you first start it up. It does have a little bit of vibration. I do think one of the motor mounts needs to be replaced, which isn't that big of a deal, but you know, it's great. I adore this car. It's everything I ever wanted. So sit back and we'll take a quick little drive. We're almost back to my road. Let me turn off the air conditioning so there's no sound, so you can maybe pick up that it's slightly diesel. So here, I'll turn this off. The microphone might even have a little bit of an issue trying to pick up any of that audio, but it's very quiet in here. It's very light. Minor vibration. It's really not that bad, which personally I find to be rather charming. That's why I like weird old diesel vehicles. But as far as I know, there are only 4 of these 85 DeVille diesels. There is a beautiful kind of a cream colored one that's almost showroom. I know that car. There's mine. There was one recently up north, Wisconsin, Michigan, I think, that came up for sale that was brown that needed head gaskets, and there was a reddish burgundy one in Arizona that came up for sale at the beginning of this year. Other than that, I don't know of a single other one out there. If you have one or you know of one, please let me know. I'm really fascinated to know how many of these 85 DeVille diesels exist. I know they didn't make too many of them at all. They were rare when they were new, essentially. And the biggest problem, like I've talked about with the Celebrity diesel, is the 4.3 was only made for a few years. Parts are very, very hard to find for the engine. There's certain diesel-specific stuff for this car that are unobtainium. They just don't exist. So I am daily driving this car, but I do know in the back of my head the premise of, if there's something I need, it might be impossible to find. If I need a radiator for it, I'm probably going to have to get one made. But I love this car, and I don't want to hear any comments about how it was a crap engine, this and that, whatever. This was not a converted engine. This engine shares nothing with any of the other GM engines. It was a bespoke, from the ground up built diesel by Oldsmobile. It shares nothing with anything else, which makes it kind of annoying, but it's a very stout engine. They use a lot of head bolts. They fixed a lot of their wrongs from the early generation of the 350 diesel, which they ended up fixing on those cars, except for the head bolts, but whatever, I don't want to get into that now, other than the fact that I have a very, very, very rare Cadillac diesel that I absolutely adore. I love driving this car, and we will do many more videos on it here soon, but I just want to show you it for now, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.